We realized that GTM leadership was needed in the business because we were at a stage of scale where we needed to accelerate. The CEO is handling the relationships with the investor, is managing the marketing function, the sales function, the CSM function. To do all of those jobs well is very difficult. So for me, bringing in a CRO on a fractional basis was an opportunity to just take the pressure off.
Hicomply didn't have the usual challenges. It's got strong product market fit, huge TAM, great culture. That was obvious from the beginning. So for me, it was quite simply an execution challenge.
We went down the fractional route versus a permanent hire route for three key reasons. Firstly, the timing. We needed somebody in the business in the next quarter, not in the next 6-9 months, which is typically, in my experience, how long it could take. We needed somebody who had the revenue build process experience, and I think from what we've seen, the market for fractional people in that space is well developed, tried and tested, it works well. And I think thirdly, the downside of getting it wrong. I mean, we're not a business that could afford to hire somebody for 6-9 months, and then if that person didn't work out, we've effectively lost a year in revenue. And that's not something the business was able to stomach.
I think this is my 4th fractional CRO role and about my 7th or 8th engagement through Scalewise. So the relationship I've got with Scalewise has become very deep, very personal. So I know that they represent me the way I'd like to be represented, but I also know that when I'm approached by the role, I'm already a good fit for it.
Having Scalewise part of the team initially there to interview each of the key stakeholders, from our investor to our chairman to all the C team members, and to get their one-to-one thoughts on what the role needed to be was really critical.
The depth Scalewise go into understanding the brief of the client company is much deeper than you'd experience anywhere else.
This transition for Hicomply has placed the business in a very different trajectory in terms of its growth and its scaling. So already we can see a much higher grade and quality of customer coming into the business, and that's because we've got Mark's leadership and a more capable team supporting the sales and revenue operation. So it's fundamentally better quality revenue, longer term contracts, and ultimately scaling, but scaling with more quality. And I think that's the key differential, and that, I think, puts the business on a very different footing going forward.
The market opportunity for us is huge. I like to think we're a more sophisticated business and we've got an extraordinarily strong product. So, the world's our oyster.
The decision for Mark to step into the CEO role, for me, was an obvious decision. When you find somebody that clearly has the capability and the talent, they're pretty rare. They don't come along very often.
Personally, I've never been short of work. So that's the main thing. I've always had offers when I've needed them, and actually often more work than I can take.
From a Scalewise point of view, the key difference was the speed of movement, the efficiency of the process, and clearly, a very capable candidate pool.
I put my hands in Scalewise. It's served me well for 6 years, and I'll do it again when I need to.
We would recommend Scalewise to other businesses, mainly because we got the man we needed, and he's doing a good job. The process has worked, but ultimately, it's hugely de-risked the whole process of building that revenue function in the business. The opportunity cost of value of doing it differently and it not working is just not a world that we ever wanted to be in, and we haven't had to go down that path. So it's been a success, but it's only been a success because everybody's worked hard at this, including the team from Scalewise.